Hello and welcome to Mrs. Russell's Maths Challenge. Now I have a challenge for those children in year 4, 5 and 6. When I was in school last week, one of the children in sandwich class asked me, Mrs. Russell, how many seconds are there in a whole year? And I thought, whoa, what a big question. That can lead to some very big numbers. So I thought, how could we look at that question and maybe make it a little bit smaller? So I want to know, how many seconds are there in an hour? What do you think we might need to know to be able to work that out? Think about what you know about hours and what you know about seconds, and let's see if we can try and work out a number sentence that can help us. So, how many seconds are there in a minute? You might know this already, but if you don't, maybe go and have a look at either a watch or a clock that shows you the seconds. See how many there are. Give me a pause if you need to have a look at that now. All right then, there are 60 seconds in every minute. So how many minutes are there in an hour? Well, we can actually look at the clock for this one. Each of the little notches or numbers round the sides represents 5 minutes. So we can count up in our fives around each of the notches to find out how many there are. Let's take a look together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Can you do the rest? Well done if you got it right at home. There are 60 minutes in an hour. So how do we then make that into a number sentence for us to work out how many seconds there are in an hour? I want you to have a go at writing a number sentence for yourself. Think about what we've just learnt and see if you can put something together. Give me a pause now while you write your new number sentence. Right then, how do we work this out? We know that for every hour there are 60 minutes, and for every minute there is 60 seconds. So we are looking for 60 seconds times 60 minutes, or 60 minutes times 60 seconds. They are commutative. But that looks like a really tricky question to try and work out. So let's think about, what number facts do we know that can make this question a little bit easier to answer? Have a think about the number facts that you might know from looking at this number sentence. Give me a pause here and write down what you think we could do to make this easier. So we could make each of our 60s 10 times smaller. So if I were to share 60 into 10 equal groups, the answer would be 6. So 6 times 6. Now that looks a little bit easier. Why don't you try and work it out now? Well done if you know your 6 times tables. But if I didn't know them, how else could I work it out? Well, I know that I can count up in fives. So why don't I count up in fives 6 times? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 6 lots of 5 is 30. But we know that that's commutative. so it means that it's the same both ways round. So 5 lots of 6 must also be 30. So to get 6 lots of 6, I need to take my 5 lots of 6, 30, and count 6 more. So I pop 30 in my head and count on 6. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Well done if you got the answer right at home. Now, we weren't looking for 6 times 6. We were looking for 60 times 60. So we made 2 of the numbers in our number sentence 10 times smaller. What do we do when we need to make a number 10 times bigger, or we're timesing by 10? Let's take a look at the place value chart. Here's our answer, 36. But we made numbers in that number sentence 10 times smaller, 2 separate times. What do you think we might need to do to our answer? What if we made one of the 6's 10 times bigger again, and it was 60 times 6? Why don't you give me a pause here and see if you can work out what 60 times 6 would look like if you were to answer it using the place value chart. Okay, so what we need to do is make our answer 10 times bigger. So 6 times 6 is 36. We make an element of our number sentence 10 times bigger. So 60 times 6, which must make our answer 10 times bigger. Now, when we're timesing by 10, each of our digits moves one space to the left or one space bigger, and we add a placeholder 0 to the end. So 60 times 6 is 360. Well done if you got it right at home. But we didn't just make one number in our number sentence 10 times smaller, we made 2 numbers 10 times smaller. So what do you think would happen if it wasn't just 6 times 6? It wasn't 60 times 6, but it was 60 times 60. Have a think about what you know now and what you can do with the place value chart. Give me a pause and try and work it out. Well, I think hopefully you will have seen a pattern forming. So when we made something 10 times bigger, all of the digits moved one space to the left. The same thing happens again now that we've made another one of our numbers 10 times bigger. So 6 times 6 is 36. 60 times 6 is 360. And 60 times 60 is 3,600. You can see that as we've times each of our 6's by 10 again, the answer has also been made 10 times bigger. So well done if you got it right at home. There are 3,600 seconds in every hour. If you managed to get it right at home, I would love to see you working out in school. Better still, I would love it if you could write a sentence to explain how you know that this is correct. If you give it to your teacher, they can look after it for a few days and then make sure it makes its way to me. I'd really love to see it. In the meantime, make sure you're checking out your Learning from Home grids, Purple Mash, and also our YouTube channel for more ideas on things you can do. Thanks for